Hello, everyone. This is going to be a series showing you how to use the different mats that I made. This is going to be the first mat, and I'm also going to show you, I put it together as a course in my stand store. You'll see on the side here, Blueprint Mat Series. So if you go to this page, it's going to break down all of the different ways to use the mats. There's also links to them. So this is free. All you need to do is put your name, your email, and hit access because I set it up as a course so that I could continue to update it as we go. So you'll put your name, your email, and then you'll just hit start now, bookmark this page or save the email so you can come back in and re-access easily. If you lose it, I can resend it to you, or you can just go back in and re-download. So this is the home page here. If you go into the side, we're going to be looking at the foundation mat today. So this is the foundation mat. I'm going to read what I wrote on here. It's a navigational system for decoding the structure of any story, situation, or case. Basically, this is meant to show you which pieces connect and how they connect in a download or in something that you want to understand. The outer boxes, which are these boxes out here, basically the corner boxes, right? This is the structure that holds the story in place. Think of it like the foundation. They represent what is seen, known, and of course, you can change this and do whatever format you want, but how I designed it was in this way. So this is what is seen, known, and measurable. So basically these 4 pillars on the corner there. Use these areas to document physical facts, timelines, people, or direct evidence. This is where you ground your reading or investigation in what can be verified before diving deeper. If you see me use this mat, I generally go in the corners first, and then I go around the other way unless I'm using the dice to direct me in which box to go. So if you're just going in an order that would make the most sense, start with these outside boxes and then fill in these bridge boxes and then go into the center is essentially what this top part means. Think of these as the pillars that stabilize the outer frame of the mystery, of the download, of whatever it is that you're trying to unpack. Now we have the middle boxes, this and this. Okay, so they link the top and bottom of each side. They act as bridges between different perspectives or timelines. So these in the middle connect this top and bottom, and they also mirror one another, which seems obvious, but I'm saying this is how I designed the cards to be read on the board. Use them to explore connections that might not be obvious at first glance. For example, the top box might represent what someone wants the world to see, while the bottom shows the hidden truth or emotional motive behind it. The top, what you can see above the surface, and the underlying current. The middle reveals how these two realities meet. This is also where you record synchronicities, mirrored behaviors, or repeating emotional patterns. You can even see where I'm pointing. This box right there. And then the connecting spirals. So these in the middle there, in between the 2 boxes in the pillar positions. They represent movement, flow, cause, and effect. Basically, what's going on between these 2 boxes, how do they connect, okay? Use these areas to trace how one choice leads to another or how energy flows through the story. When using cards, place them along these spirals to map transitions or turning points. So you can fill in all the cards and then go into the spirals is what I usually do. Again, you can use your intuition to use this mat however you want. I'm just giving you a breakdown of why it looks like it does what I designed it to do. They help you visualize momentum, showing whether energy is building, looping, or breaking apart. Again, we're talking about these little spirals that are in between the pillar pieces. And then we have the guards at the gate, which are these 4 here that are coming out of the center labyrinth, the guards at the gate. The 4 outer spirals radiating from the center are called the guards at the gate. Each one represents a threshold you must pass through before reaching a deeper truth. What do you need to accomplish before you can get to this center? Use these points to pause and reflect and ask yourself what assumptions, fears, or attachments might be blocking clarity. The guards reveal tests or discernment and readiness. They challenge you to release bias and enter the center with neutrality and wisdom. So you can use this as north, south, east, west. You can take note of the fact that this side of the mat says the Reckoning Co. and this side says the Blueprint. So this could be the foundational side of it, and this could be what needs to happen to bring a reckoning to a situation. So you can kind of break this up however you want, but I'm just kind of giving you little thought bubbles, and then you interpret it how you best see to use the mat. But these are meant to be how energy is moving. Okay, the ones in between. These are meant to be the pillars or the foundation, the ones in the corner. These are meant to be some kind of interaction with what's going on in the center. And then also just take note of this side's the reckoning, so something happening, and this side is the blueprint, so the foundation, the origin point. And then this center, I did split it into 4 quadrants, so you can put 4 cards, you can put 1 card, you can do whatever you feel like doing in the middle there, but it is broken up so you can kind of create it into a map. It's the foundation for a map. You decide what goes on the map and how the map is read. Okay. So the labyrinth is the heart of the map, and it synchronizes the core of the story. This is the main theme, lesson, or hidden truth that everything else leads toward. Use this space, again, this one in here, which is broken up into 4 or it's just 1, for your final synthesis. After exploring all the surrounding boxes, return to the center to see how the pieces align. It often reveals the true motive, emotional wound, or spiritual lesson beneath the situation. Cards placed here represent insight, closure, and awakening. Okay, so you can do this first, or you can do this last, or you can use the die, okay? I'm just going to give you a perspective. If you do it first, you're saying this is the main topic. Everything else is filling in the blanks of how to understand that. If you do it last, you're saying, okay, this is the understanding that I have. Is this right? So I guess it depends on how you want to approach it. And then if you're using the die to just, okay, this is, so I'm going to choose a box. I choose this as box 1, right? So I have box 2, 1, 2. So I'm going to start here. So you can just create like a journey line for yourself there, or you can do it first or last, but that's how it's going to show up. If you do it first, it's going to set the tone for the whole reading, whatever you put in the center. If you do it last, it's basically saying, am I understanding what I got correctly? So then using the die, you can use an 8 or a 6 for this one. It doesn't really matter. The other mats are designed to be used with an 8-sided die. This one doesn't matter as much because there's no lines or choices, but you can use a die. And let's say I'm going to set this as box 1. I roll the die, box 1. So I'm going to put a card there. Then I'm going to roll, the die again. So from box 1, we're going to do 1 more. So from box 1, we're going to go here. We're going to put a card here. So now I have this filled in. I can say, okay, let me fill in this to see how it moves. Let me fill in the spiral to see how it moves. Or I can say, you know what? I'm going to fill in all these boxes first, and then I'm going to fill in the spirals. So whichever way you want to do. So if I rolled a 4, let's say I don't want to fill in that spiral. I rolled a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put another card in this bottom corner there. And then you just keep going until it's complete. And then you either make notes, take a voice recording, or just look at it, whatever you feel called to do. And that is breaking down whatever download or understanding that you want to have from a map that you designed. Because you're choosing intuitively how to fill it in. You're choosing intuitively, you don't have to use this as a pillar. You can use this as what am I seeing on the surface? Nothing to do with the pillar. You can use this as what's flowing. Nothing to do with the pillar. But that's the way it's set up. Okay, so I'm going to show you then how to go about using this one. I'm going to use tarot, and then we're also going to use whispers and echoes. I'm going to show you 2 different techniques to do this. So again, if you want to access this, which has everything on there, you can go to stand.store/The Reckoning Co. And you will find it there. 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to do this one with the dice to show you. My intention here, this is my box 1. And I'm going to fill in all of the boxes, and then I'm going to fill in the connectors, and then I'm going to go into the center. So we have number 4. So we're starting over here in this corner. 8 of Wands in reverse. So a delay of some sort. Then we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're right here. So I'm going to put the 4 there so I remember where I was easily. Hanged Man. Now, since I didn't choose a topic, which you can, if I say, how am I going to move forward? And then I start doing this, I'm like, okay, there needs to be a slowing down process. I didn't choose a topic. I'm letting this tell me what the download, what the channeled message is. So that's why I'm not really interpreting it yet because I don't have enough data yet. I'm showing you how to do it from square one. So we have some kind of delay up here in the corner, and then we have Hanged Man down here. 1, 2, so we're over here on the connector. We're on the left connector. 9 of Wands in reverse. So I'm going to say that the blueprint here, there's some gearing toward stepping outside of a comfort zone being put into preparation. So we're gearing up. It's going to require something to be given up, whether that's a mindset, whether that's a shift in focus, okay? That's all we have so far. We got number 4. 1, 2, 3. I already have this filled in, so I'm going to go here, number 4. So now we're going to see 9 of Wands. What is that directly up against? What's the mirrored energy? So we have the 9 of Wands, the desire or the necessity to step outside of a comfort zone. This is on the blueprint side. That's what needs to happen. The reckoning side is how it happens. Okay, so what's the card for this side? That's the mirror energy to stepping out of comfort zone. 10 of Wands in reverse, putting down a burden. So this right now is giving me the basis for the message. These are my added details, and these are the basis for the message. So I'm going to announce to myself that now so that I know that I'm walking towards that. So I'm going to say, I believe that this channeled message is going to be looking at the ways in which it's time to step out of some kind of comfort zone by slowing down and surrendering the need to control the outcome and just letting things unfold. And that is the burden that needs to be put down. This, to me, looks like it's going to be highlighting some bit of perfectionism. You're ready to step outside of your comfort zone. It can't be perfect, but you're ready. The burden is perfectionism. Okay, so we were here. We're going to go one more. We're going to go right underneath of it. So now this is mirrored with this 10 of Wands in reverse. So we have 10 of Wands in reverse here. Above it, we have 8 of Wands in reverse. So to put down this burden, we're going to need to slow down and realize what's going on here. What's the underlying energy of that? 2 of Cups. Reconnection to self, which to me feels like grounding, but since it's cups, I'm going to go with emotions. Emotionally grounding. There's something that you need to sit with, a fear that has or is going to come up, that if you sit with it, it helps you reconnect to yourself. It helps you slow down. And when you do that, you can put down this burden of perfectionism and see that you don't have to be perfect to start, because stepping outside of your comfort zone is calling to you. So that's where we're at so far. We're going to roll the die again and again. Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're up here. And it's connected in some way to slowing down. Judgment in reverse. So there's a misjudgment when it comes to speed. So in this case, it could be there's a voice internally that says rest is failure. If you're not actively pushing forward, then you're not doing enough. If you're not earning your worth, then you're not worthy of it. So there's some kind of voice that's incorrect, mind you, because just judgment's in reverse. It's incorrect, but it's related to slowing down. So when we get to the spiral, we're going to see what can we do about that? How do we get that energy moving so that the internal dialogue is not causing us to push forward when we're being guided to slow down? Because slowing down helps us put down the burden and reconnect to self. So that's how you start to build and layer on the mat. So we're here. We're going to go 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to be over here in the corner. And this is going to be connected to Hanged Man. 3 of Pentacles. And Three of Pentacles is also under Nine of Wands in reverse. So whatever this stepping outside of comfort zone is, it does have some kind of connection to collaboration. Collaboration requires some kind of surrender, not needing to be in control of everyone's choices, everyone's perspectives, letting things, trusting you're ready to collaborate in a way that can be understood, comprehended, expanded upon, right? So when we get to the spiral, we're going to see what the energy is that will allow you to collaborate, which is a necessity to step out of the comfort zone. Stepping out of the comfort zone requires some kind of collaboration, and collaboration requires some form of surrender of control. Next. 1. So we're going right up here in the corner. So we're seeing what's above that. Okay. So stepping outside of comfort zone, something to do with collaboration. This is what we're seeing on the surface of that. 3 of Wands in reverse. So what we're seeing on the surface is your psyche has evidence or proof that, oh man, in the past I collaborated and that didn't work out so well. Oh man, in the past I let people help me, or I let people in and it didn't work out so well. So you have the proof of it not working out. Now you need to surrender because you're ready for it to work out. But that is in some way stepping out of your comfort zone. But it's this on the blueprint side. So this is what all this was preparing you for. You had to have things not work out so you could appreciate them when they did. And that's where you stand right now. Number 1, we're right here. I think I keep switching dice. Number 1. So this is connected to what didn't work out in the past. Queen of Cups in reverse. So the lesson you learned was to not allow others to use your empathy against you. And it feels like this has a lot to do with boundaries. You wanting to see the best in people doesn't mean they're ready to see that in themselves. And when it comes to this type of collaboration, you need to call it for what it is and draw lines appropriately. So this is saying in the past, it didn't work out because your empathy was used against you. You learned from that, though. You're not allowing that to happen now. So you don't need to have control over what's happening because you have control over your empathy. You have control over yourself. In the past, you didn't. So we're going to see when we get here what energy is flowing between them. So I don't know why I rolled that. We only have one left and it's here. So at the bottom. So this is connected to 2 of Cups, which we said was reconnecting to your own emotions. Page of Swords, that was the lesson. That was the lesson. You disconnected from your own emotions because of other people and your need to survive and keep things going. Now that you've reconnected to yourself, are you going to allow in collaboration, not because you can control others, but because you know yourself, because you can control your relation with your own emotions? So now we're going to go we're going to go all the spirals, actually. All the spirals are in the mix. I'm going to start up here as number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're down here in between the Page of Swords and the 2 of Cups. So the lesson about reconnecting to yourself emotionally, what's the energy between that right now? The Empress. Yeah, you did it. The reckoning is ready to roll because you know how to nurture yourself now. That's why this page is upright, because you learned this lesson. You learned this lesson. Now, does that mean you're automatically always going to stay connected to yourself emotionally? No, it means you learned the lesson of what happens when you don't. And you have the authority, the intellect, the ability to make a better choice. So this corner is very positive. It shows you're ready to put down this burden and keep it down and take slow and steady steps forward. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're up here. What didn't work out in the past when your empathy was used against you? King of Wands and Ace of Wands. Kind of giving opportunistic. People may have used your empathy as a way to get you to help them heal, or get you to help them move forward, or step on you to get ahead. But it feels like this is opportunistic energy. In the past, people opportunistically used your empathy against you. You learned, though, because in order for them to do that, you had to give that access to them. Now you learned what happens when you do that, and you're not going to do that again. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at the bottom here. The Star in reverse. So the bottom of this The worst points of this lesson were feeling hopeless. Like there was a point in this when you felt absolutely hopeless because of how other people opportunistically used your empathy against you in order to teach you how to slow down, reground, and claim that energy back for yourself, because only then can you collaborate from a place of not trying to control, but from a place of flow. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're up here. We're in between a misjudgment about speed. So the voice inside your head that's telling you, you can't slow down, you're not doing enough. Yeah, that 9 of Swords is the voice. It's giving that quote, nightmares aren't enough to keep you from dreaming, but there's a need to listen to your body as well. If you're pursuing dreams, you need to make sure that you're not pushing your body into a state of stress where it feels like a nightmare. There needs to be balance here. And right now you're being called to pay attention to the voice that tells you you need to do in order to receive. You need to act in order to earn. Be mindful of the voice that tells you anything other than just being is required for your worth, because that's not your voice that's playing. 2, 1, 2. We're over here in between collaboration and surrendering control, because there's a new opportunity. Ace of Pentacles. When you are able to surrender control and collaborate from a place of flow, from a place of not judging yourself, from a place of not trying to control every step, but focusing on a goal and letting things flow there, because that shows your empathy is able to be accessed but not used against you. There's a balance. So when you're able to do that, there's a new beginning for you. 1. So we're right here. 6 of Pentacles, because this time what you put out, you're going to get back. This time, the effort you put out, you're going to get some kind of reciprocation back in. It's not a dead-end street this time. 1, we're at the top energy. So this is opposite of that hopelessness. Yeah, coming back in. Getting in out of the cold. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Falling out, not having to be in fight or flight, not having to be emotionally on guard. Allowing yourself to thaw out, like take up space, honestly. From hopelessness to taking up space unapologetically. Because you learned how to not let others step on you and conserve that energy for yourself and share it with those who are worthy of it. That's this whole spread so far. So we're right here. What's the final piece of the reckoning? The final piece of the reckoning was whatever loss you took. Whatever loss you took made space for something to come in that's going to be more fulfilling for you. That's going to be better for you. Whatever loss you took is the catalyst for every piece of growth that comes forward, because it made the space for it. So now, again, you could put 4, you could put 1. I'm going to roll the die to see how many in the middle. 3. 3. Five of Swords, the Magician, 7 of Pentacles in reverse. That's transmutation. That's you going into battle and making some kind of magic out of it right now. Also going into battle and making some kind of magic out of it because, again, you created the space. You ripped out the roots that were not planted in good soil, and you're creating your own soil to plant them in. And then you're inviting others to that garden who are worthy of being there as well. So this is mat 1. This is the foundation mat. And this is how you use it. You can get it on stand.store/The Reckoning Co. on my Fourth Wall merch account. And it's also on TikTok Shop. So I'm going to see you in the next part for the observation mat. And that is the mat that is the first mat in the series where we roll the 8-sided die and choose a line based off of that. So it's a little bit different than this, but kind of same blueprint-esque concept. Thank you for watching.